Standard disclaimer. I am a lunatic. I get up to all manner of crazy malarkey. I have been injured more than once doing so. I make these videos for your entertainment and edification. Should you attempt something that you see in one of my videos, that is your decision, and the injuries that you may, and probably will, suffer as a result are entirely on you. Like the funny little lawyer man said, kids, these are professional idiots. Do not try this at home.
Alright, so this is another video about improvised weapons. You may have seen the last video I did on the zip gun, so this one is a slam fire shotgun. Incredibly simple. I won't go into real specifics about how to make it because there's dozens of videos already. But in brief, it's a length of 1 inch inner diameter steel pipe with a fixed firing pin at the back, and a length of 3/4 inch inner diameter pipe that sleeves inside it. Put a 12 gauge shell into the pipe, slide your pipe into the receiver, and then you fire it by just using your hands. A sharp tug in the direction of the firing pin brings the primer on the shotgun shell into contact with your fixed firing pin and fires the round. As improvised weapons go, I would consider this far superior to the zip gun. It's more reliable, it's safer, despite the appearances. But, so here's the thing. What if you don't have 12 gauge shells? If you're all out of 12 gauge shells, what good is a slam fire shotgun? Now, if you still have your empty 12 gauge shells, I will include a couple of links in the description about how to recycle the primer, the 209 primers, and reload the shells with black powder, and you can keep right on using them. But if you don't have 12 gauge shells at all, we made a barrel. We have to swap out the firing pin. Let me focus in on that. Yeah, the barrel plug, the breech plug's kind of thick. Okay, so here's the firing pin. It's designed to just protrude a little bit past the breech plate, a little round nub that hits the primer. This one is just a good flat-ended bolt. It's a little longer because it doesn't matter. I'll show you why as soon as I thread this guy into the gun. So when you're shooting shotgun shells with one of these, the plug at the end of your receiver serves as your breech plug. That's taking the force of the shell going off, at least such force as is coming back towards you. In our black powder barrel, almost done here. Okay. So our black powder barrel has its own breech plug welded into place, and then threaded into that breech plug is a number 11 cap nipple. So you muzzle load it, 75 grains of black powder. I use a lubed cardboard card over the powder, about 1 ounce a shot, and a dry card over the shot. Put your cap, your number 11 cap on your cap nipple there, and then you slide it into the gun, and you fire it by the same, same means. You just jerk it against the firing pin. I happen to have a Pietta cap nipple laying around. Heck, I had an actual breech plug. It was too small, but I welded a sleeve onto it and made that fit, and then welded it into the barrel. If you don't have that laying around, you can just weld a plug into your barrel and drill and tap it for a cap nipple if you have one. If you don't have a cap nipple, you can drill and tap it for a grease fitting. Knock the ball bearing out of the grease fitting and grind that into a cap nipple. Word of caution, however, not all grease fittings are created equal. Some of them are made of good hard steel. Some of them are very, very soft metal and will deform to the point of uselessness in just 1 or 2 shots. So, you know, yeah, and I'm not sure how you tell at the store whether it's decent metal or not. Sort of take it home and smack it with a hammer and see what you get. But that's an alternative if you can't, if you don't have an actual cap nipple and the tap for it to hand. I'm going to pause the video until I can recruit a second set of hands, and then we'll shoot it a couple times for you. All right, we're loading the black powder slam fire, going with 70 grains of homemade black powder. A lubed card over the powder. It's just a couple layers of cardboard glued together and dipped in homemade bore lube. It lets us generate a decent amount of bore pressure. Shot cup, because we definitely get tighter shot patterns if we use one. We're using roughly an ounce of plain old BBs as buckshot. Dry overshot card, just, you know, keep our shot from running back out the barrel. And a number 11 percussion cap. Alright, got our loaded barrel started into the receiver. Shoulder the firearm and image target. And then you just slide the barrel further into the receiver until it contacts the firing pin. I'm not going to make y'all watch me load it again, but here is shot number 2. One more shot with the slam fire. See if I can actually hit something.